Hello. It's been a while now, but I can't believe I just heard of this song. And it did make me think and just wanted to share some thoughts about it. There was this thought that I just encountered as to what the song was about. I don't know if she made a statement about it or it's just what people have been speculating. And I got curious. It made me want to go back and listen to the song, listen closely to the lyrics and what she was talking about. Because when you listen, read the lyrics, and listen to the music, it is sad. There is that sense of regret and that feeling of loss. Because I feel like there's a stanza or a phrase that I think she's talking about her lover, but then the following phrase seems like she's talking about her baby. I guess without knowing the background, it did feel like she was just talking to a lover, mourning that loss, asking for forgiveness, realizing that it's hard to move on forward because she still has feelings and she's still hurting. But when you change it to losing a child, losing it by choice, so it seems a choice that she's probably wondering if it was willingly done on her part or was convinced that it was needed to be done. It does change your perspective. It kind of scratches that surface level and just dig right into it. Like there's more to the song. And when you think about it, it does make the song more haunting. And I don't want to go into the divisive part of the conversation. That's a whole nother story. This is just talking about one person and basing things on what she has shared through her song and how people can interpret that. And my take is just one of many. Because I'm sure people would voice out their opinions as well. I cannot imagine or should I say this? I can't begin to imagine how it would feel like to even have that thought, to be placed in that kind of a situation. It must have been a hard decision to make. And it should be, just like any other major situation where it can be life-changing. It should be. This is something that is final. There's no reset button you can press if you change your mind. And so there is really no place for doubts. At least one would think. The questions she must have had going back to that time, asking herself if she had made the right decision, or was she made to believe that she made the right decision. And I do wonder what triggered it in her later life. That kind of point of reflection, that regret of doing something that you have not fully thought about. I mean, she must have at that time, but there's also that different kind of thought, where after things have gone through and you kind of reflect on it. Because it's more than just the initial decision of saying yes to it. There is also that part of thinking about what comes after, how you are going to feel about it, and would you be able to cope with that big decision? Because that sense of permanence, being trapped into a loop because of a decision you've made, I would think there must have been that type of longing for something that could have been a possibility. That wishful thinking of what if you have taken a different path? Would things have been better? We all go through that. And there's this part of the song. Let's see. It goes, I may have made it rain. Please forgive me. My weakness caused you pain. And this song's my sorry. What do you think? It must have been conflicting. A conflicting feeling to feel such sorrow for a child that she could have had. Seeing that child's face in her dreams. A constant reminder of something that could have been. But then on the other hand, she has these children. I think she has sons, but she has these children that she cares for, that she loves. And that happened after going through the first heartbreak. The struggle between longing and probably wanting to have that peace, which would be moving on from that part and possibly trying to forget that painful part of her life. But to long for one you wish you still have, but at the same time think of what you already have and can't imagine life without them. You can't have both ways. And that is hard, painful to think. That feeling of abandoning one or the other when you make a choice. And when you realize that it was not yours to make to begin with, the regret that pours in must have been overwhelming for her. And I do wonder, or it does make me think, her going down that rabbit hole of erratic behavior that was all over the news. Because there was that phase. And then later on, people finding out how controlling her environment was. That must have been, I don't know, that must have been just a part of the many things that she felt like she has no control of. That it culminated to her actions, which probably she thought is the only thing that she can do for herself. Doing things out of the norm of what her image was. It does make me curious about her book. Granted, with autobiographies, I feel like they should be taken with a grain of salt. But still, this is looking at her life through her lens, what it was like through her eyes, what she felt like she had gone through. I don't want to read it because it's the truth, or that I want to know about the truth. This is just one perspective. It's more of being curious about what she felt her life was, and that the actions the actions she has made would reflect or help us understand why she did those things based on what she perceived her life was going to be and what she was feeling about it. Do they connect? And I can't judge her because I don't know her. I don't know every detail of her life behind the scenes. And even if I did, I'm not living in her shoes. We most likely have a different way of thinking. And so, if I remove myself, my input, my feelings towards the situation, then I'm just left with simply a situation, left with seeing someone who made the decision and seeing if the life she has led would lead her to the path of where she is now. Because two people can be exposed to the same thing, the same circumstances, but how they react would not be exactly the same. Sometimes react totally opposite from the other. But my hope, though, for her is that she finds genuine people who care for her and that she finds peace within herself. I don't know how, only she knows that. Who knows? Maybe she has already, or maybe she is in the path of finding herself again. And I really hope that for her.